Hi. Good evening. Creatures and entities, welcome to the Exoclara stream. I don't know. Kind of in a mood today. But I haven't touched this program in some time, so I want to get some progress done. So today we're doing that. There's so much I need to do. I have 2 events in this club. The vision was for something to be happening in this club every week, every month at least. So I need to think of stuff to put in there. One thing I want to do is fix up these flowers. I want them to do something different. Maybe give out a coin every day. Right now they just give you pollen. And there's not really, there's not really much of a use for pollen. Kind of a stupid item. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe it'll give you a chance for pollen. Oh, but then these do a self-switch. If we have multiples... Demon, hello! Welcome on in. How you doing? I'm trying to figure out a new system for these flowers. I'm tired, but you're free. It's a good thing that you're free. I'm a little worn down today, too. I don't know. Maybe... Oh, I'd hate to make an individual switch for each and every one of these. But I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. And every day it unswitches those switches. Kinda doesn't make sense. I think I've toyed with this idea a few times. And it's never been worth it. Maybe I won't do that, but there is something I could do. This guy needs to go. He gives you all of these, and then... What's the last thing he says? The secret code has been cracked. Wait, what? 11, 12, 13, 14. Anyway. So it's news about Baum's disappearance. Code's been cracked, here's what it says. And then the last thing, either he's not here anymore or he has like a stock message that he tells you every day. Oh no. Put a drawing and show off, let's see it. Need a name for this guy. I don't know. Jim. Jim's not bad. Cool jacket. Hold on a second. We need to get a close look at this. We gotta go downstairs. Oh, nope, this way. Okay, let's see. This you. So you are not 7'3". Come on. No way. Wacky and Wild, that is you. Oh, the character is null? Or is that your... What... Explain it to me. Quantum science theory and graphic design. Just your character guy. Okay. I like the jacket. Although, now that I think of it, I have no way of knowing if you're 7'3" or not. You might be. Like, I'm only 7 feet tall, so it's just hard for me to believe that anyone's taller than me. You don't know how tall I am. Alright. Let's just hang out in the theater today. Well, hey, good stuff. Well drawn. You're 5'5". I'm just a little taller than that. I always think I'm too tall, but then I think Sigourney Weaver's 6 feet tall, so I have no reason to feel bad about my height. I think Prince was like... I always go to Prince as my example of a short man. Oh, hold on a second. How tall was Prince? Prince was 5'2". That's crazy. Short King. Look on your YouTube series. Yes, awesome. I think for now, I'm just gonna have this guy be missing. So I think the music's way too loud. It is. There we go. Hey, we just listened to this at the intro. No. Okay. Okay, I'll be here. Okay, after stories are all done, he's gone. I don't even know if this Brog system works. This maze system I came up with is kind of dumb, actually. I'm gonna get rid of this. I think what I ought to do is just play my game for a little bit. See if I can find a whole bunch of flaws in it. New game. Oh, I think this is still on the demo. Yeah, it is. Thank you for your purchase. Full mode. My name can be you. That's fine. Actually, let's give honest answers, because I'm going to be playing this long term. My gender is Guel. Dominant hand. I don't want you guys to know that. I'm gonna say ambidextrous. I'm 84 years old. You're lying. Your eye color? Blue. Looking good. How do you sleep? I sleep with one eye open. That's his name. His name. Yep. There's my phone call. Hey, Clara, where are you? You're late for your lesson. Oh, Chef Nemo, I forgot. I'll be there soon. Say, pal, enjoy your sleep. Best hotel on the island, right? You may want a place of your own. Try the square tent. You can set this up wherever you want. By the way, if you feel like you need more space, I can add additional rooms to your tent for a price. 1,000 money? I have no monies. Oh, I can't place anything yet. Clara, is that you? Come meet me in the kitchen. You may have to clear out some of these boxes to get to me. How do I do that? Cycle through your skills with the shoulder buttons. Shoulder buttons? Like on a controller? What if I'm on a keyboard? That's weird. Get a controller. But if you insist, you can change the skills with page up and page down. You'll know when you're using the remove skill when your indicator in the corner shows an X. Use a skill, hit shift, or press X. Good job. Now as for your other skills, quick skill, the rotate skill, and your move skill. Practice by putting a square in front of me. Perfetto. That's how you cook up an item. Okay. And I want to build a house. I'm going to put it right here. Okay, so the game starts you off with 2 of these blocks, which is pretty cool. And what are my starting items? Not really much of anything. To prove the value of my products, I'll saw a boat in half. Well, hello there, Clara. Are you here to hear one of my many one of my many amazing stories? Well, let me tell you one about Bomb the businessman. He showed up one day promising to help us all sleep better with his mechanical beds and super pillows. And since then, we've all been certainly sleeping a lot more. We'll go fishing whenever you like. No fish out there, though. Yeah, no fish today. Ah, I got something. Nothing! I got nothing! Guess I'll try again. I gotta... Can't leave empty-handed. Okay, what do we got? No, nothing again. Okay, I'm done. Oh, so I set it up so this is first of the month. Want to move faster, slower? Just swap your shoes. Here, take the shoe box. Oh, this is where you get the shoe box. Can't use it here, but... Yawn. Welcome to Baumindusters. Talk to HR. Okay, so what's your employee ID? And then this is just a bunch of dialogue. And then it just ends here. I don't have anything attached to it. I guess it could be a quest. Maybe it opens something up somewhere else. Let's write that down. I'm gonna get rid of merchants. Let's type in HR quest? Question mark? But Club 40 events. Karaoke. I don't know if I want to do that. Hourly content. I don't know if I want to do that either now. I really have to simplify things and get this game to a releasable state. And if I want to do extra things, I can do it afterwards. But I'm really stretching myself out thin with this. So I need to cut back. I might even just get rid of the whole club. Because I don't think it's really doing a whole lot for me. Museum? I'm not doing a museum, I don't think. I still need to add something for that sea monster. Haven't been sleeping. Yep, I know. All of these people are here. It must be because it's the first day I'm playing. That must be it. I think. Wait, what are you? Oh, okay. I was like, what is this building? I think I need to make a sign for it. What movie do we have? This week's movie is The Fabulous Slugman. The second movie in the third series based on Slugman from Booty Comics. Not the other Slugman. Theater's closed though. Just going through some things right now, okay? Man, this lobby is kind of really empty. Maybe I should have got some coffee before I started. Howdy you do? I'm the graveyard guy. Have you noticed people dying more than usual? Crazy, right? Anyway, it's more business than I can handle right now. Could you help me place some tombstones? Any space right about displaced dirt? There are 5 tombstones. Two, 3, 4. Let's place this last one incorrectly so we can test this. Much better. My loved one can rest in peace. By the way, did you know he died? Maybe you didn't mention that. Anyway, why would you care? You didn't know him. Anyway, guess what? He invented the springboard. Here, you can have his secret recipe. Springboard. Excuse me for yawning. Oh. No, I can't do that on stream. I was considering showing you a secret, but I don't think I will. Welcome back, Demon. Doing a bit of play testing. Testing? See, this guy's not here. Someone's inside the sleeping pod. Oh, I remember. So that guy's on a timer. If I forget that, maybe I should put a little hint in the game. Magic door. Ominous message. Yeah, I should put a door here just to test it. Just to keep track. Plank of wood. Oh no, it's the Mimic. Oh.
Warning, the ads are here. Tell us when the nightmare has ended.
Fritz, I wish you would tell us when it ends. You're in charge of these things. Wait a minute. My OBS says connecting to chat. What's up with that? Perhaps I lost connection for a short minute. That would be bad. But I seem to be live. There's one more plank to find. Where would I have put it? Oh, I gotta wait. Well, while the break is running, I'm going to add another task. Gotta unblock those gravestones because I don't like the way you get caught on them. I'm running low on water. I think I'm gonna go next break and get some more. Okay, we're back. Is it this middle door? No, it's not. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Aha. And that's the last one, I believe. But what's down here? Anything? There's nothing down here. Why did I do this? That's silly. Put this door over here, because it's the next thing to do. That works perfectly. I'm gonna do this later. So I still have no money. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get more money for the player other than fishing? 'Cause fishing's all you got. Oh, I never went in the cave. I also never went up here. Custom sign, nice. Now I don't remember if there's anything in here of interest if you don't have bombs. I don't think there is. There's that guy who disappears. But that's it. Okay. I need to add more goodies in here. This cave used to do so much and now it does nothing. Now, there is one way of making money. Here in this building. It's Gone Mad trying. Haven't seen him online in a long time. Now I got 100 monies. And I think that's everything. And still has one thing that's gone. What's gone? Gone Mad. Yeah, he used to come into chat a lot. He's a streamer. Haven't seen him in quite some time. I think he moved houses. Guess he's busy. "21 minutes. I spent 21 minutes playtesting this? Oh, yeah. Yeah, the cave. Well, there are a bunch of secrets in the cave, but you need bombs, and I can't buy bombs today. This guy tells us about his date. Date's late. Wow, 21 minutes. And I did all that. Well, there are very few things that I need to fix. What upgrades? There we go. That's that. I don't want to delete the club, but I feel like I'm going to have to eventually. It makes me sad. Also, the Baum building. Let's take a look at the entire city while we're at it. The library I want to keep. The shop doesn't really need to be here. And I like having the theater, but it is just a guy. It's just a guy. I don't know. So there are two areas that need fleshed out a bit. Or three. There are a whole bunch. I need to just add fun stuff. I'm just not feeling the motivation to do any of it. I might just, for the rest of today, maybe what I'll do is jump into Godot and do a bit of learning. Where is Godot? I think it's here. Okay. Missing projects. Okay. I must not have opened this since before I changed hard drive. Imports? Ray, let's give this a play. Have I done anything? No main scene has ever been defined. Select one. Select scripts. Does not look like I did anything. I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on, let's do this a different way. What kind of game do I want to make? Templates? Okay. Basic 3D starter? What? Create folder. Yeah. Okay. Oh my. How displaying? You gotta move side to side, the camera tilts. That's interesting. And finish. Currently, every static and rigid body has a set of 4 objects. Static body shape CSG box shadow. Oh. And then CSG box. And you have to manually change size of each other. Can be done by scripts on the next version of what are you talking about? We have a dynamic physics cube here. Okay. I move with the platform. So, look at all this code. I cannot code. I'm so bad at this. Input mode, mouse, motion captured. Yeah, I don't even know how I did this with Unity other than like taking other people's scripts. And I kind of got the hang of it, but it's been so long. Gravity, get setting default gravity. Okay. So we're declaring some variables up here. I feel like I'm not going to get anywhere today with this. Should I start with the other project? Because I gotta learn, and I'm not gonna learn if I'm just using a template. Okay. How can I force it to go to this screen every time? Because it's not. Good old YouTube. I think I'm just gonna, I think I have a video saved. So let's go to one of those.
It might appear.
There we go. There. We need his flashy intro first.
Hello and welcome to part 2 of creating a simple move and dodge game using the Dough game engine. My name is Colin, and this is part 2 of a mini-series in how to create this simple move and dodge game where you, the character, are a ball moving around a 3-dimensional maze, collecting coins, avoiding enemies. If you hit an enemy, you lose lose, and you go to the game over screen. And if you win, you do that by collecting all of the coins. Again, if you have not seen that video, there's a link on the screen right now in order for you to go and watch that and follow along. So you understand the basics of Godot. In this video, we're going to be programming character movement. That means we're going to get into programming using Godot's programming language, GDScript. That's enough of my intro. Let's go ahead and jump in. But of course, if you like this video or if you learned something, go ahead and click on that like button below this video on YouTube. And if you want to see more videos like this one in Godot or Blender or technology, click on that subscribe button and click on that bell icon to get notified whenever I upload a new tutorial. So on my desktop, I've got Godot version 3.1.1. That's what we're using. If I go ahead and double click on it, it'll of course launch the project manager, and you can just double click on your project in your list of different projects to open it up. So in the last video, we got to the point where we had a simple scene set up, but it does not load up by default because Godot is based in scenes. Over on the bottom left of my screen in this file.
I just need to take a break from him. He's rubbing me the wrong way. Don't know why. So I already have some stuff in my scene. And I think I've already set this to default. But what do I have? I have a camera with no scripts attached. I have this with a collision and a shape and a static body. But I don't have a character. That's it. That's all I got. And this I can understand. You make your static body, which means it's not going to fall. Then I gave it a shape. Does this collide? Why do I have this? A non-uniformly scaled shape will not function as expected. Please make it scale uniform. Change the size of its shape resource instead. Unity never behaved like this. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
File system doc is a list of all the files in my project folder, including this level.tscn file. This is the level of our game. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on it, and as you can see, I've got the 3 different boxes or blocks that will fall with gravity. I've got a ground and a camera. If I want to select things, generally I do that over here in the scene dock. So if I want to select the floor, I can click on it. It's of course made of multiple nodes in a branch of this tree. But of course, if you want to test this game out, you can press the play scene button, and that will play this scene. And there we go. There are my falling blocks as seen through the camera. I changed them since the last video, just their position. So there we go. So we're going to make a character right away, and we're going to program it. Now I could make a character just by pressing the plus button and adding the required nodes. To make a character, we're going to be using 3 nodes. We'll use a kinematic body. We're going to be using a mesh instance and a collision shape. The last 2 of those we have used in the last video to make our floor and our blocks. Now I could just select my level node. This is the root node of this scene, and press the plus button and add these nodes. But instead what I'm going to do is make my character object into its own new scene. And this is how from now on we're going to be making new objects or assets for our game, because everything in Godot is based on a scene. So I'm going to press plus. We have a new scene. And the reason why this is, by the way,
the way this guy's talking reminds me, get a drink of water. Keep your mouth hydrated. All right, we got to start a scene, which is going to be our character. Okay.
When we're making different objects in new scenes, it's they can be reused, because my character might appear in more than one level. If I make an enemy, a bad guy, he might appear in more than one level. A collectible, again, you want to reuse it. So you don't just want to have it based in the tree of nodes in one scene. You want to have them separate. So we have a new scene. I just press this plus button. We got a new scene. I'm not going to add a default or one of these options. I'm going to press the plus, and we're going to make our character the root of this scene. The character is going to be under spatial. It's going to be a 3D kinematic body physics object. So under spatial, it's under collision object, and then in that collision object category or branch, we have physics body, and kinematic body is right here.
Kinematic body. Okay. Oh, it's called character body. It's fun when they change things for no reason.
I'll double click on it, or of course you can search for it in this search bar, kinematic. And of course you're adding, if you were to search for it, the pink one with the pink icon, not the blue. That's the 2D version, always the pink for 3D. So when we add this kinematic body to our node tree as the root, it gives us a little error. You've seen this before in the last video. If I click on it, it says this node has no shape, so it can't collide or interact with other objects. Consider adding a collision shape or collision polygon as a child to define its shape. What is it talking about? Well, this kinematic body, it's a physics object, but it needs basically a force field or a bounding box to know where it should hit other things in the scene, where it should bump into other things. So I'm going to select it, and I'm going to press the plus. I'm going to add a collision shape, and I'm going to be lazy and search for it.
Okay, collision shape. Collision shape, you said?
Collision
Not polygon?
shape. And it's right there. It's the pink one, not the blue ones, okay? And I'll double click on it to add it, and it's a child because it's indented. It's underneath and farther from the left of this tree of the kinematic body, and it gives us an error. So I'm going to click on that little blue, or not blue, yellow triangle and see what it says. It says, a shape must be provided for collision shape to function. Please create a shape resource for it. So the key word here is resource. A resource is not a node. A resource is information in the form of a block of information that Godot has built into it that you can tell that node what to look like, or give it a resource like a mesh or a shape that Godot knows about and has built in. So I'm going to select this collision shape, and I'm going to go over to my inspector on the right hand side, and with the collision shape selected, it shows me that its shape is empty. So I'm going to select a primitive 3D shape to give it as a collision bounce. Now our character is a sphere, it's a ball, but its collision shape, and this might seem weird, it's going to be a box. And the reason for that is because a box...
New box shape.
hits flat on the ground. A box will also hit things evenly, like walls, flat. If you have a round sphere shape and you push really hard against it, against a wall that's not much taller than about halfway up the ball might actually roll over the wall. So I have actually found that when I've been testing this project. So we're going to use a box collision shape, but in that box, or as another child of a kinematic body, we're going to add a mesh, and it's going to be a sphere. So I'm going to select my kinematic body again and press plus. I'm going to search for mesh, and we don't want to select mesh or CSG mesh. We want to select mesh instance, and it's a parent of something else, but that's okay. We can still add it. So I'll double click on
mesh instance. Okay. And this is the problem I have with a lot of hold on. With a lot of tutorials, it's just like you're following steps, but you're not actually understanding what you're doing. I mean, he is doing his best to explain what's going on here, but I kind of have to, on my own, figure out what's going on. So the collision shape is my hitbox. The mesh instance is the visual representation of the character. And everything happens inside the character body 3D, I guess. He might be explaining it very well, and I'm just not good at paying attention. I think that's probably what's going on here.
Warning, the ads are here. Tell us when the nightmare has ended.
Thank you, Fritz. I think it is time, good time for a break. I've been going for an hour. I might go for another hour. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna go break. I'm gonna fill up my water, and I'll be back shortly. See y'all in a minute. And that's the wrong button. Hey, there it is. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. I made it back. Here I am. Here I am. Well, I came back to learning. That's not fun. Alright, my guy. What else you got for me?
Instance, and so now it gets added again as a child of kinematic body. And if I select mesh instance, it needs to know what polygons or what actual mesh with vertices and edges to use. And again, that's over in its properties in the inspector. Its mesh is empty right now. We're gonna click on the little arrow next to it and select a new sphere mesh. That's a primitive mesh that Godot has built in that you can use.
Okay. Mesh instance. Sure.
At any point. So now we've got a ball mesh inside of a force field, essentially. The default dimensions of any shape, basically in Godot and boxes and spheres, is 2 of these grid floor units by 2 by 2. So if I were to go into my little view menu and say orthogonal to make it more flat, and then if I were to go to my, let's say my front view, you would see that the edges of the circle just graze the edge of the bounding box, the collision shape. If I select the collision shape, I can see those extent little pink circle handles that I could grab, but that means that my ball wouldn't hit things accurately. So I'm going to press Control Z a few times to undo that. And my kinematic body is ready to save as a scene. Before I do that though, I'm going to double click on its name, and I'm going to give it a better name than kinematic body. My character's name is going to be Steve. So
I'm not going to call it Steve. Call it Ball Boy.
I just double clicked and typed and pressed enter, and I'm ready to save this scene. It says unsaved right here, but right away we want to keep organized. My project folder, this res folder in my file system doc, shows me an organization of files, and you're going to start getting a whole bunch of these .tscn scene files. We're also going to be bringing in image textures and normal maps and diffuse maps and maybe SVG files and all sorts of things, and nothing is worse than having a disorganized project folder. If I were to minimize Godot and look at my project folder on my computer, I want to create folders here, but we can actually do that in Godot for different categories. So I'm not going to do it in my Windows File Explorer. I'll do it right here. Now, if I right click in this area, it doesn't do anything. And that's how you think that you would make a new folder, just by right clicking and saying new folder. That does not work. What you have to do is actually right click on any of your existing files, or in fact, this word res here, our actual project folder. If I right click right on it, which is a little bit weird, I can say new folder, and I'm going to name this folder assets. Okay, these are going to be where all of the scene objects, or the objects that are scenes for my project, are going to go. So I'll press OK. We've got a new folder called assets. I'm going to go into there, or just have that selected, and when I go to scene and save scene, it's going to ask me where to save it, and so I'm going to go into my assets folder. I'm going to give this scene a name, and it just gives it the name of the root node of that scene. So it's named it Steve with a capital S.tscn. That's totally okay. I'll press save, and there we go. We've got a saved character. I can go ahead and close this scene now, because I'm going to create an instance of it in my main game level. How do you do that? Well, I'm going to select the root node of this level scene, so I'll just click right here. Instead of pressing the plus to add a new node, I'm going to press this link button. It gives me a list of all the tscn files in my project folder, including asset/steve.tscn. I'll double click on that, and as you can see, if I zoom in, there's Steve. If I want
Okay. Link. That. There it is.
to move Steve up, he got put to the middle of the scene where this spatial node actually is. It's at 0, 0, 0, hopefully. So if I select Steve, if I drag up, it will move him up. But if I hold Control down, and it's Control on a Mac or a Windows PC, you can try using command on a Mac, but I don't think that works. So I'll hold control and drag that up, and it'll snap to the increments of the grid floor. So I just moved it up by 1, and so now it's on the floor. If I want to get rid of these boxes, I'm going to get rid of 2 of them. I can just go over here to the scene dock and right click and say delete node.
All right, I think I need to figure out how to revert my floor, because it did not put it where I wanted it to go. Geometry. Okay. It is all the same though. So I don't know what its problem is. Oh, hold on. What? I'm allowed to... Okay, I am allowed to do it this way. So that... No! It's yelling at me again. Please make its scale uniform. Please make it scale uniform. And change the size and children collision shapes instead. I don't understand. So it changed the child, and that's okay? That's so strange. You change the child, and then the parent changes along with it? That doesn't make sense to me. At all. Okay, well.
Nodes, and yes, and select that one, right click, delete nodes, and okay. And you know what, I'm just going to leave box 1 there for fun, but I'm going to move it over and off to the side because it'll fall down, and once we get our character moving, we can actually push this box around. So let's go ahead and see what this scene looks like. I'm going to do a quick Control S on my keyboard to save, and then press the play scene button. and we have our little ball character there. And if I press the arrow keys on my keyboard, it doesn't work because we have to get into programming. So let's go ahead and press the close window X button. So to add programming in Godot, you have to add what's called a script file, which is a file that ends in .gd onto a node in your game scene window, in your node tree. So I'm going to select Steve, and I'm going to press this little script button with a green plus. When I do that, it's going to pop up a new window, but it's also going to get a new icon next to it. Right now we can hide any node in our game. This little icon means that this Steve object is actually a different scene. Same little icon, similar, that we have up here. It means a scene, and if I click on it, I can actually open up and see and edit that original Steve scene, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to select Steve and press this little script new button. And we get this attach node script pop up where it lets us select some options for the code that we're about to add, including what language we're going to use. We're going to use GDScript. There are more options. And if you use the mono version of Godot, in other words, when you went to godotengine.org and you went to the downloads page and you selected the mono version, this version allows you to program in C#. It does require a separate download. It requires you to download Microsoft Visual Studio, or at least the Visual Studio build tools, which is quite a big download, so I'm not going to deal with that in this mini series. So I'm just going to leave that as GDScript. We're going to leave this character as inheriting the code that's accessible to a kinematic body. That's kind of what that means. We'll get into it later. Template. By default, it says default. I would like you to change this to no comments. That's the best way, because most people just get rid of the comments that comes with the default code setup anyways. If you don't know what that means, that's okay. And last but not least, it's going to put this code file into your assets folder, and I do not want that. So I'm actually going...
I'm going to put that beautiful Undertale music back on while I think about this. There's a character basic movement template. For the sake of learning, I could just... I should just go no comments like you said. But I kind of just want to... Okay, I'm going to go no template.
Going to press this little folder button. We're going to make a folder in our project folder for scripts. So I'm going to press this folder button, and I'm going to go one up to go back out of the assets folder into the res folder. I'm going to make a new folder here called scripts. So I'm going to...
Okay. I never really did this in Unity. I kind of put everything together. Like I would make a character model and put everything in the same folder as a character model, even the scripts. It kind of worked for me. Built-in script. Nope. Oh, I'm so tired.
Press create folder and scripts and press OK, and now it's in that scripts folder. I'm going to name this code file, script file, steve.gd, and I'll press open, and I can press now create. If you were to try to organize your files and folders later, you'd actually be breaking the paths, I believe, so your character wouldn't know where their script file is if you try to sort things out in folders after you already attached scripts to objects, so that would be a pain. So we're just doing it up front to save ourselves a headache later. So I'm going to go ahead and press create, And here you can see we have the beginnings of some basic code. I'm going to go ahead and press Control plus on my keyboard a few times so you can see what's happening here. The first thing that I need you to understand, concept number one in this video, is that code that you write is executed or run by your game or your computer program in the order in which you write from top to bottom. So when you're writing code and you're writing instructions for your computer, that's what computer programming really is. It reads the very top line, it does that. It reads the next line, it does that. This is called the flow of your program. And this is a very easy concept to understand, but sometimes what will happen is when you're writing lines of code instructions, maybe you put things that those instructions need to know lower down on your code, so when it reaches an instruction and doesn't know part of what you're talking about because it's lower down, you might not understand that as a programmer. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself though. The second thing that you need to know about programming is that programs can get very long in terms of the number of lines of code that you need to write in order to make the program or game that you want. Now, if you had a program that was, let's say, 1,000 lines long, it would start to get really messy and disorganized. If you can imagine a program like Godot itself took tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of lines of code of programming in order to write, well, they didn't just write that in one big long script file. They had to break it up into smaller chunks, and what you can do in a big program is create small chunks of that big program that are really little programs called functions. Functions are small programs that make up a big program. Now you can use these functions that are actually built into the GDScript language. There are many functions. They're often called methods that are built into Godot, but you can also write your own functions, and you can actually see one on the screen right now. On line 3 and line 4, you have this thing called funcReady, and right below that you have the word pass. Now something that I want you to recognize right away is the fact that this word pass is indented. It has a tab here. If I select that and press the delete or backspace key on my keyboard, it's lined up, and if I press the tab key on my keyboard, it's indented, and the GDScript code editor gives it this little icon that means tab. That's what that little icon means, and that's very important. This funcReady pass is a little program that a kinematic body object like Steve knows to run or call as soon as the game loads and as soon as Steve is ready to do anything in the game. In other words, when Steve is ready for the game. So this ready function...
I'm so lost. I'm really lost. Hopefully it makes sense as he continues.
Is built into a kinematic body, and GDScript knows about it. Now this pass is actually a placeholder that you're meant to delete and replace with your own code, and I'm going to ask you to do that with me right now. We're going to use another function that's built into GDScript. It's called print, and print is the most basic function you can possibly use. It prints text to the screen. So if I type print, and again we're...
Let's put that here. Now, I didn't have this when I started the script, so I'm wondering if that's a difference between versions of Godot. Do I actually need funcReady?
Indented from the side that has to happen in order for this function to know what's a part of the function. And then I type an opening round bracket and then a closing round bracket. I've just used the print function in order to print something to the screen. But the print function needs some information. It needs to know what you want to write to the screen. So I'm going to put inside those round brackets two quotes, double quotes, and in that I'm going to say, "Hello, Godot." What we've essentially done here is we've created what every programmer types for the first time whenever they learn a new language, and that's called the Hello World program. The Hello World program is basically the most basic thing you can do in any programming language, and that is to print something out, text, to the screen. let's go ahead and see what happens if we run this script in this game right now.
First, my Kermit. I am learning.
Keyboard.
Learning Godot. Learning how to do GD scripts. Welcome on in. I'm very bad at programming and learning scripts, so we'll see how it goes. Also, by the way, welcome to my theater. I was gonna say welcome to space, but we're inside my theater right now. Hold on. Let me check this. I just wanted to let you know, you're in outer space now. So welcome to outer space. Been learning Godot for 3 years. I've been telling myself I'm going to learn Godot for 3 years. I've been like, yeah, eventually I'm going to get around to that. Never have. But now I'm sitting down and learning it.
When I press the play scene button, where we're still in level 1 right now, it'll play my scene as you'd expect. So I've got my character and the following box there, but look down here in this output dock, it says Hello Godot. If I go ahead and close this scene, and I change Hello Godot to something else, Hello YouTube, and I press play scene, I get at the bottom in the output dock, Hello YouTube.
Okay, now having worked with C#, it's bothering me that this isn't ending with a semicolon. I guess it's not necessary in GDScript.
Okay, so we've just used a function with what's called a parameter, information that you put in the round brackets. It's called a parameter that little program print needs to work. We just run
Setting in the editor.
And it ran this print function when this kinematic body was ready to be a part of the
music.
game. And when it is ready
I
to be
can't
a
with the
part of
music
the
right
game,
now.
it runs this ready, or calls this ready function that this file came with. Are you following? If you're not, don't worry. You can follow along as best as you can and just type what I type in this video and we'll get through it and you'll have a character moving. Learning to program is not easy, and I'm breaking it down for you as best as I can. It's learning a new language. It will take you time. Now, this ready function is built into a kinematic body, and it knows...
Type info. All right, where would that be? The editor settings. Editor settings. It's gotta be... Type info. Hold on. Info. Type hints. Maybe. Show internal editors and toast notifications. I don't think so. Appearance. Completion. Add type hints. Yes. There we go. Thank you. I would have never seen that.
When a kinematic body is ready to be a part of the game. But a kinematic body has many functions, which are actually called methods, and if we want to see all the code that's available to us when we use a kinematic body, I can hold the control key on my keyboard, and if I hover my mouse cursor over this name kinematic body and I hold control and I click on that name, it's going to open up the documentation about kinematic body and tell us everything about it. If you're a programmer, you'll really get into this quite deep, but as you can see, this kinematic body has methods or functions that it can use, and they're all listed here. Get floor velocity, get slide collision, get slide count, is on ceiling, is on floor. It's got little keywords beside it. We'll get to that in a few minutes. It describes what this class, this type of object is about. If you want to go back to your code file, you can just click over here to get back to it. If you want to close this, you can right click and say close. Just so you know, you can hold control and click on just about anything to see what it's about, and it'll show you in this window, and you can switch between documents on the left hand side. But what I'm going to do now is use another function, or write another function that a kinematic body knows about. It's called physics process. So I'm going to go a few lines below all of the code that I have. So I'm going to click on the end of my last print line. I'm going to press enter, but I'm still indented. And if I want to write a new function, I have to press backspace or delete on my keyboard to go back to the beginning of the line, and that way when I go down one more time it will be at the beginning of the line. I'm going to go ahead and write, and so should you, func space underscore physics, and you can see that as soon as I start typing it, it's giving me hints. It's trying to guess what I'm trying to type. This is what we're going to actually type. So instead of continuing to type, I'm going to press enter on my keyboard. And as you can see, it typed it for me. So that's a little bit of code help that this code editor has built into it.
There shall be no escape from these messages. So have a little stretch and get a snack.
Thank you, Fritz. Go get a snack and stretch. I'm going to have ads in a minute. So if you're going to have ads, go ahead and take a break. Heartbeast. No, I never watched Heartbeast. Maybe I should look it up. Let's see. What's with the Christmas music? Why did I add this to my wish list, my playlist? That's so silly. Like beasts. Yeah, Godot's the first thing to come up. See, does he have like a Godot playlist? Can really use that. Godot random level generation, live streams. Godot action RPG series, let's go. Yeah, I'll go ahead and add that to a watch later. Good recommendation, thank you. Oh, I don't know if you're in ads right now or not, but if you're not, check this out. I got a demo for my RPG Maker game out right now, so you can check out how that's going, what that's going to be like. I should be working on this game right now, but yeah. I have this playing while other people are getting ads. But this is my game, Blink Island. You do a little bit of building, a little bit of exploring, and those are basically the two things you do in the game. You build little houses or whatever your imagination does. Oh, you're in ads. Lame. Well, I'll be waiting. Are you back? I'm back.
This function called physics process is a special function that acts as a game loop. In other words, anything that I put, any code that I write inside this function, I'm going to get rid of this line 8 because it's giving me a red bar. Any code that I put inside this function, in other words, any code I put below this line 6, but indented, so in the body of this physics process function, any code that I put there, it'll run it at a solid or constant 60 frames per second. What can go in here? Well, I might put in here code that checks to see if the player of the game is pressing an arrow key on their keyboard.
Okay, I probably don't need this float and void if he doesn't have it. Man, it's really going to take me a long time to get used to GDScript.
keyboard. In other words, I could write some logic here that says if I
But it's
press
probably going to
the
be
left
easier
arrow
than
key on my
C#.
keyboard, move my character, Steve, to the left. Or if I press the up arrow key or any of the W, A, S, or D keys on the keyboard, it'll move the character around. You might also in here do collision tests that check to see if your character is colliding with something else, like an enemy or a collectible object like a coin. And if your character is colliding with one of those things, it'll act appropriately. So your game logic will go here, and it'll check it again and again and again, 60 times per second. To illustrate this, I'm going to use the print function down here. Again, I need to be indented here for this to work, and I'm going to type print, round bracket, and I'm going to say hello, and an exclamation mark. And don't forget to close your round bracket there. So if I go ahead and play my scene, it'll probably want me to save. I might even save that automatically. It'll launch up.
Yeah, doing a 3D tutorial. But this is like super basic. He's just explaining how basic coding works.
It'll say hello a lot of times because it's writing hello 60
So
times per
in
second.
C# this would be
I can actually scroll up and down
update.
and see how many times it printed hello. A lot. The first thing it wrote,
So-
because it did this when the player was ready, it wrote hello YouTube.
I don't know if it would be helpful to me to compare this to a C# script. I really prefer Unity, but I just hate the way the Unity company is doing everything. And Godot's just really cool because everything's free. Yeah, I don't think I have the C# version of Godot. I think I just got the basic. I want to use GDScript anyway. And it's not like I was really good at C#. I was basically just following tutorials like this.
And then it wrote hello a whole lot of times. Okay, so we've talked about functions. I actually don't want to print hello YouTube and hello in my game, so I'm going to get rid of those lines. And because these functions are necessary or are built into Kinematic Body, you can't just leave them empty. In this case, we're just going to put that word pass, P-A-S-S, back into both of them just for now. Okay? The third concept that you need to know about programming is a concept called variables. If you've gone through middle school math or high school math, you know what variables are. If I wrote a math equation like 12 plus x equals 15, well, you could...
I know what variables are.
You know that x in this equation is a variable and it equals 3. Because when I subtract 12 from both sides of the equal sign in this equation, then we're
Well,
left
he's
with
explaining
x.
that. Let's go back
But
upstairs.
this is not a math lesson, so don't worry. We just have to know that this x
I like to
is
be
a
in my
variable.
streaming room.
It's a letter that we're using in place of a value, like a number, and that value might change over time. In programming, we need to remember things, or
Okay.
have our program remember things all the time. Like in the beginning of a game, you might ask your player to type in their name. And then you might use that name later in the game, like if they finish playing, it's game over, and you want to save their name to a high score list, or if you want to use the name in the actual game when characters
And I built all of this with
other times,
Unity.
You might need to remember a number, like a coin counter in this game project example. So at the beginning of the game, we need to make a little piece.
I'd rather just jump straight into 3D, because that way I can just make any game, make it look 2D if I want to. I feel like that'll give me a lot more freedom. I understand making a 2D game might be a lot more simple, but I have other engines I can use if I just want to make a simple, easy 2D game, you know? Like I'm already using RPG Maker, I could use Game Maker or something. So if I'm going to use Godot or Unity or something like that, I feel like it's just better to jump straight into 3D.
Piece of memory for that coin counter.
And I know I could not
Think of
figure it
this
out
like
without a
box,
tutorial.
Putting information in a little box
No
in a
way.
spot in memory. In order to make a variable in programming, we need to give that box or that variable a name though, and we can name it almost anything we want. I'm going to name this variable coin counter, and anytime we need to change coin counter, like add another coin when our character
And I
takes a
know
coin,
that
we can just
eventually
refer to
I'm
that
going to
coin
be able to
counter
figure this out on
by
my own without a tutorial, but it's going to take me months at least.
programming. How we do this is up at the very
Yeah, Godot 4.
Of our code, if I just put in a few more lines here, and you can make as many new lines as you want. If I type the keyword var, V-A-R, all lowercase, that's the keyword that tells our program, it's an instruction that we're making a new variable, a new spot of memory to hold data. The next thing I have to do is type a space and give this variable a name. In this case, I might say the word name. And if we're looking to store a person's name in a game, we might give it a value to start. And so what I might do is put a space, and then an equal sign, and a space. And I'm going to put a default username to begin. So I'm going to put in quotes, player. Okay, that's the most boring default player name of all time. Now, if I want to print this player name out to the screen, we can use that print function again. So in this func ready, I'm going to replace this word pass with print. I'm going to write my round bracket.
Every ounce of my lazy being wants to just go back and use the default player movement script and just move on.
And because we're using that same word,
when you make a 3D character body and put a script on it, you can choose. Right, that's what I was saying. Like, I really want to, but I should just learn how to script. It's killing me. We could just skip past all of this.
We're actually referring to the value of that variable instead of just the text N-A-M-E. So if I go ahead and play this scene now, it's going to print something on the screen. Oh, you know what? I'm not allowed to use this word name as a variable name. It's giving me an error, and this is a perfect example of what you might encounter if you make a mistake or you do something that's not allowed in programming. It's telling me, it's giving me a parser error. It's saying member name already exists in parent class. Basically what it's telling me is that the word name for a variable name is already taken. So what can I do? Well, I'm just going to name this variable something else. I'm going to call it player name, and I'm going to give the N in the middle of that word a capital letter just to make it easier to read. And therefore, when I print out the player's name, I'm going to write player name with a capital N in the middle. And now if I go ahead and press the stop button and then the play scene button, it should print out player on the screen. If I made my default player name, I don't know, Susan, and I press the play scene button, it would print Susan on the screen. So as you can see, you can use a variable just by calling its name. Now something else you can do is you can combine or join or manipulate or use data from variables together.
Yeah, I might want to do that.
In this case, I don't want to print just the player's
Let me
name.
skip ahead and see what else he has.
The fourth concept in programming that you need to understand is where you have to write them. I'm going to press the enter key. That's great. Way is up if you're making...
This is a slippery slope. If I just skip ahead, I'm going to eventually just do the controller script. Okay, Legion Games. Let's do it. Player movements? Is that what I want to look for? I want third person. That's 2D. Yeah, it's a little too basic. I'm losing interest, but I know there's going to be something I'm missing.
What's up, guys? Now what? Set equals int.
Okay, we're looking at. I'm probably gonna have to type in third person. Good old GD Quest. Gwiz? 4 minutes. It's gotta be good, yeah.
Hello everyone, in this tutorial, I'll be showing how to make
Gotta be
a
good and
reverse
quick.
controller, a good L4. Before we get started, I have a
It's
simple
4
level
minutes.
setup with just a wall, a ramp, and a floor. They all have collisions, and I also have a world environment set up. Now, it's going to create a character body 3D. You can just call this player. In here, we need a few things. To start, let's create a mesh instance. We can put this as a capsule for now. Let's drag it up. I'm going to apply a material to it. And we can just call this body mesh. So let's create a collision for that mesh. So a collision shape 3D. Go to click capsule. Drag it up. It needs to be slightly bigger than our mesh due to the camera that we're going to be setting up in a little bit. And so that we know which direction our character is facing, I have gone ahead and added 2 eyes in the front. Let's go ahead now, create a new node 3D. This will be our camera origin. Let's go set this to kind of the top of the head here.
I'm probably just gonna put a static camera in the scene. I can figure that out later.
Right here. Let's now go ahead and create a new node called a spring arm. Let's go ahead and set the spring length to about 2 and a margin to 0.5. In a bit, this will help our camera collide with the ground and not clip through walls and go closer to our player when we are colliding with other objects. So now let's attach a camera 3D to our spring arm. Let's go ahead and drag it out to be at the end of our spring arm. And now let's go ahead and set up our input map. So head over to input map. Here I have a left, right, up.
Whoa, what input map? Where'd this come from?
Set up our input map.
Settings? Oh, well, how about that? I don't have anything. I don't have WASD. Okay, Demon, welcome back. I'm looking on how to do the thing still. I don't think he missed anything. Filtered by events. UI left. Okay, what if I just add W? Oh no, it should be A. Okay, cool. So if I add... I hope this is the right way to do this.
So head over to input map. Here I have a left, right, up, down, and a quit.
Is it okay if it says UI? Probably.
This is WASD and escape. Please copy these in, or if you already have them, you can use them. Now on our player, let's create a new script. Let's go ahead and control click on our camera origin to here. Let's rename this to
Don't need that.
pivot. In our ready function.
He already has a script going. What if I just delete this stupid script? I'm cheating. I wasn't gonna do it. I told you I was gonna be a good girl and start learning, but nope. Let's save over that one. I guess it will. Well, let's try it out. It works. I don't have any lights or anything. Let's go back into the script, into the scene. Probably want a directional light, huh? Yeah, there we go. My ball fell. Probably because of this thing. Think. What just happened? Yeah, this thing's collision is wrong. There we go. So I got jump. I have everything I could possibly need. Nice. Now I should at least look at the script and see if this makes any sense whatsoever. So I have a constant speed of 5, the jump velocity. That all makes sense. So is const a type of variable? I have a gravity variable, which is set to a float, which is set to a default gravity. If I'm not on the floor, gravity affects me. If I press jump and I'm on the floor, I can jump. Variable input, up, down, left, right. Transform basis. What direction? Is my vector 3 all mathetized? I'm sure this math makes sense. I'm not going to be able to work it out. Move and slide. Well, I suppose this makes sense. I don't know. Okay, I think I need a texture on the floor. How do I do that? Material overlay? I guess I do new standard material? It's not working. It shows up here, but light. Okay. Shadow. Let's turn shadows on. Visibility. Yeah. Collision the mesh. I'm getting an emergency broadcast. That scared me. Okay. I'm getting a tornado warning, which is odd. I guess I'll take some precautions and end stream. That's interesting. Okay. Let's save my scenes. Save all scenes. And yeah, I'm out of here. I'm just gonna have to go ahead and end. I will see you all tomorrow. Go ahead and follow me if you would be so kind. And I'll be back on tomorrow doing... Yeah, I'll be doing something. I'm not sure what. Maybe more of this. Maybe back to my game. I don't know. But I'll see you then. Let's get that going. Alright. Good night, whatever you are. That's it for me. See you tomorrow.